Allie, is the clicker over there somewhere? It just looks, it's a TV remote. You would see it. It would be up there. I'll go ask. We'll try it. I don't know. We'll see. He was the only child of the and he was getting a reward for it. And I thought, oh, sure. Just knowing what we've done a good job. And I was like, I stood up and yes. Would you like to try? Yes. Let's go over there. Okay. We're going to go by the sign.
More professional.
So I got them both. Ready? I got you. How did you want to do it? Rotary back.
One just. I don't join you.
Would you like to do it on my phone too? I don't want to send it to you. We got 4 minutes till we get. Thank you. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, you don't mess around with her.
Get going here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Thank you.
It was like, oh, there, that one's on. That one flashed on. The LG did, but are we just? Okay, yes. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that.
No, that's, We got about 3 minutes
No, how are you?
How are you?
Good going.
Is there something? Oh, and Steve Nyhus is giving our reflection today. Okay, and
You like to lower the shape?
yes, please. Am
You
I
got it.
good on? No.
You want the top one.
Can I ask those of you who are online if you can hear me? Yes?
Yes, we can hear you. It
I
is
can't,
a little bit
Steve. I
quiet.
don't know why. I can see you talking and you're muted. Do
Yeah, now
you want to
I
speak up? Let's
unmuted
hear you
and
now.
I unmuted. You should be able to hear me. We can hear you, but you are not loud. I don't know. I can
It
see
just-
you talking.
I
We can't hear you.
can hear you, but I haven't heard Steve yet, and he's giving the reflection today.
Well, you can hear me now, can't you?
Yep, that's great. Little
Okay.
loud, even.
Oh. Everyone else needs to get louder and I need to get quieter. Okay, does that make a difference at all?
Yes, it did.
We're working on our end.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Oh. Not a very loud one.
Has any audio in the room? There's audio up here, but not, this is on. Let's sing it all.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we're trying to get this synced. I'll just speak loudly for now. We get this changed over. Welcome to the July 28th midday meeting of Rochester. I'm Allie Good, your host and president of our club. Thanks to Rotarians who cannot attend in person can be with us today. Let's wave to each other. A warm welcome to everyone. Please join me the four-way test. Of the things we say, think, or do,
Is it the first?
is it the truth? Second,
Yeah.
is it fair to all concerned?
Concerned.
Third,
Will it
goodwill,
build good and
better
better friendships?
will it be beneficial?
Beneficial to all concerned.
I'd like to call on Steve Nye online to provide a reflection today.
All right. Thank you, Madam President. Can everyone hear me okay? All
And
right. Well, I know Judith can. Okay. What will your story be today? In her address to the Rotary International Convention, incoming President Jennifer Jones observed that when the right connections are made, the world aligns and our stories merge. Our differences resolve, and the only limit to our impact is the barrier of our imagination. Her address got me thinking about the power of story and what a single person can do in a single day. At first glance, it doesn't seem like much. We're bombarded every day with competing narratives from every corner, and each one of them shouting to be heard over the others. The problems in the world are so immense. What can little old me do about any of them? Why should I even try? But each one of us, no matter where we are in life, carries a sphere of influence. It might be large, it might be small, but everybody has one. The question is, what will we do with that sphere of influence today? What will our story be? Mahatma Gandhi is credited with saying the following: keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. Later on in her address, President Jones challenged Rotarians around the world to imagine a world that deserves our best, where we get up each day knowing that we can make a difference. When I first joined the Rotary Club of St. Paul back in 2008, our club president, Joe Kovarik, opened every meeting by reminding us that today is a day that never was and never will be again. So let us use it wisely and well as we share Rotary. So I leave you with this question: what will your story be today?
well, not hearing.
That was
Good.
really inspiring. Thank you. Colin Aldous will introduce some guests. We do. Okay. Yes.
Where's-
Right in
Oh,
front.
oh,
Today, we have Pet and Miles as guests and visitors. I know them just a little because a couple of years ago on a 92-degree summer's day, I went out to the playground off of the Douglas Trail, and you know the name of it, White Oak Park. Thank you very much. And they were there along with Miles pushing a, and that's why I have not since signed up. I'm glad everybody else goes out and helps out on the peak of the summer, but we welcome. We're thrilled to have you at Rotary. Thank you.
So we have announcements today. The first Thursday of each month is designed for officers, directors, and chairs to convene their committee, working groups, and teams and meet at the Even Hotel here at our usual time. Welcome to come for lunch and to socialize, but remember to sign up in advance so we can estimate how we need. The Rotary Holiday Classic Committee is also scheduled to meet August 4th, Thursday at 11:30 at the Rochester Area Foundation. Our Rochester Community Foundation has selected a recipient for the Impact Grant from the proceeds of our foundation, the Rotary Club of Rochester Community Foundation. To call Chris Colby up to the podium.
yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Allie was going to spill the beans and I was going to be able to make an announcement, but she stayed short of that. I'm pleased to announce that your Rochester Rotary Community Foundation, based on the recommendation of the Community Grant Selection Committee, has approved the selection of a local organization to award the $10,000 Community Impact Grant for 2000. The selection committee used a 6-question criteria with a 5-point scale. And if you can follow that, it did work to help us identify the best aligned with our club's goals for the grant. Things as community impact, how well does the application promote health, long-term in the community? What's the level of service and involvement potential for Rotarians? How much does the application foster goodwill, and how much will the application improve quality of lives? So while there were great submissions, we had actually submittals. The selection committee has unanimously agreed on a submission that we all felt would and long-lasting impact in the community. The foundation board approved an impact grant of $10,000 to be awarded to the Reading Center and the Jeremiah program in a joint program to help fund the establishment of a new critical reading club for underserved and struggling readers with their mother in partnership with the Jeremiah program.
Wonderful. That's great.
Thank you. To give you a brief summary of the submittals, we had 6 submittals. One was from the Spark Children's Museum for a discussion night for disadvantaged kids and families. Second was the Stewartville community organization to help fund athletic field improvements. Third, Salvation Army back to school clothing program for disadvantaged kids. Fourth, nonprofit consortium to help fund support for emerging grassroots groups. And the number 5, the Cradle to Career for an Education Sustainability Summit.
Fallon's.
And of course, number 6 was
Fallon's.
Those are in no particular order.
I'm in the middle of a meeting.
I had them in on my computer. So congratulations to the Reading Center and Jeremiah program on the community grant. I'm assuming that at some point in the near future, we'll have a formal presentation of the grant at a future Rotary meeting. So congratulations and thank you.
I think that's a really creative partnership. While you mentioned the funding, I'd like to call on Jill Cordes, who has an. When I heard the good news that she was able to have the Treasure Island contribute $100 for the work that the volunteers did staffing the Hunt concert, it makes you realize that that's an awful lot of car washes be doing that. So we encourage volunteers, and she's got a new opportunity.
So thank you all for volunteering that evening. It was a fun event and a unique experience, to say the least, on my end. I was in charge of the VIP section that night at Treasure Island. And so I got to really kind of take control of the situation. And but yeah, they are giving us a check for $1,500 for our contributions that night, which she paid everybody basically from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., $15 an hour. And lots of people were out before 10 p.m. Around, because like I said, I was having so much fun. But they gave us 2 more opportunities on really short notice. The other one gives us a little bit more time. Next Saturday, 6th at I think it's 6 p.m. They have a comedian there, El Iglesias. Did I say that right? Close enough. I think they need people again for scanning tickets. No, I think that's name, like branded name. Scanning tickets, ushering, and again cleanup. Ushering, there was 2 experiences. My experience was in front of the stage, up close, more hands-on, because we had people trying to get in and out. The ushering was more, you got a chair, you got to just look at that they belong there, otherwise tell them sorry, you don't belong here type thing. So that was a more easy flow. And then the scanning tickets, nobody's here from scanning. It was pretty, easy going. You were in and out there and cleanup. So that is an option as well too. So if you are able to donate your time and your family and that type of thing again, 20 and older, yeah. Let me know right away because I'd like to get her that name of list by probably Tuesday, Wednesday, so in those jobs. Logistically, walking, there is quite a bit in the parking lot to the venue. And then, other requirements, like I had a gentleman who had a bad knee. He did the ushering and was able to stand and sit, that type of thing. But there is quite a bit of walk venue to the parking lot. So just bear that in mind. But it was fun and they paid us. So and then the next one is August 19th. That's the Duran Duran concert. I think we have someone who wants to be up on stage. So if you're available for that one too, let me know. Because we could clear $1,000 in donations just by doing this and having fun. So let me know. No, that's what they paid us. That's what they paid us. But if you did get there in time, you a $10 coupon to use at any of the food trucks. So, taco place.
Rotarians don't have fun. Okay, I thank you to Bill Neitz of Neitz Tax and Accounting, who completed pro bono 2022 financial reconciliation records for our Rotary Club of Rochester. He hasn't completed Club of Rochester, but the Rotary Club of Rochester Community Foundation account. It was a lot of work. It gave us a better understanding of where that part of the assets Rotary Club, how they're doing. And this includes tracking funds of the HOSIC, Strive, and International Service, as well as insights about the investments of the foundation. Birthdays and anniversaries. Birthdays this month in the second half of the month. July 21st, Dave Herder, July 22nd, Frank Allen, 3rd, Mark Murch, July 25th, Lee Johnson, July 20th, Colin Aldis coming up, July 30th, Mark Ostrom, July 30th, Steve, July 30th, and Betty Devine, the 31st. Join date, Liz Davies, 4 years in July 26, 2018, and Janine, July 30th, 2015, 7 years. I'd like to for Teskey. I know United Way is looking for 4 people to fill spots for Run School. How many of you know about the Running Start for School backpack program? When I say backpack, numbers what it is. So please come up.
So there is a sign up that's around and we actually have, oh, I'm sorry. We actually have spots that are available now. Sometimes volunteers back out and Saturday is an opportunity where people back out. So we need some help. So what you do is you basically packs and pipsqueaks. If you've ever been over to our area, it's a gym area. A bit warm and it's stuffing backpacks. So probably opportunity where you're putting backpacks together for certain schools. So that would probably be doing. So there's a sign up going around. And then we also have an opportunity purchase those backpacks online. And so we have a drive. And the 2 other Rotary clubs have a drive. And we'd love to see a little bit of competition going. Is 100 backpacks, so we're at 19. So if you go on the Moccasin Flower and click on the link, it's really, this is our drive right here. So you just click now. TRCR. And that's in the link is in the Moccasin. I think maybe we'll email it out as click on that and then you can add whatever you want to your cart, less than $16 for a full backpack. How much does everybody pay for, or do you remember that you paid for kids' backpacks and school supplies? Yeah, exactly. Us that pay it right now, it's about 75. So for less than $16, you can buy that. It's wonderful. So we have 19. I think the Rotary Risers is at 61, and the Greater Rochester Rotary is at 45. So mhm. You can also add one of each, so you get the three. So multiple opportunities there, and it really is like 2-3 clicks and you're. So anybody have questions? Our overall goal is 2,530 packs, so that's a lot. That's kids in Olmsted County, not just Rochester. So 40 schools in Olmsted County. We ask what their anticipated need is, and then we tell them, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it for you. And this is how we raise money to cover those backpacks. Mhm. Yes, we work with the schools to determine across what those anticipated things are, and we go by what the school district tells us. So each elementary sometimes has a little bit different thing, but this is what the school district has to give. Yep. Yeah, my 8-year-old requests every year since she was 6-year-old to do it. So this year we did it together. A friend of hers, actually 2 friends, and we did it together. So yeah, 8 years old, you can help. There's a sign up here if you'd like to sign up. So, and the more actually, if we got actually 10 people to come, it would just make the day go by faster. Okay. So there's a link of Moxon Flower, as well as I believe that we're going to email it as well. So just and you're done.
Thank you for giving this consideration. It's another way that we unity. Yes, there's still space for us, and after all, we're kind of behind the other 2 Rotary clubs. Some of them really love to win. It doesn't matter what they just like to win, and they put their shoulders and their energy and whatnot into it. So the closing date of that is August 12th. So we want to be able to help United Way serve the communities that have special needs, and getting school is an important first step. We know this. There's a reminder that a Rotarian Mike Fallon's memorial service is Saturday, and it will be at the River Park Chapel at home. Visitation at 10, memorial service at 11. For and Joe Jabalisco's memorial service will also be held this Saturday at St. Luke's Episcopal Church, as at 10 and service at 11. For those who don't all knew Mike well, those of us in this club at this time, Joe Jablisco resigned. He had very bad macular degeneration, and he continued to have a wonderful esprit. I was privileged to work with him on Grouk when he was president of the. But probably what he's most remembered for in our club is that he was instrumental working with dentist and Rotarian Tom Sitzer, and they were instrumental in the founding of the Salvation Army Dental Clinic. And so sometimes we forget that we stand on the of giants who have served this community, and it's that we acknowledge the contributions that they have made. I would like to, we have, let's see, what time is it? Some people know I am a stickler for staying on time. So I would like the presentation up to get started. Vicki said, can I introduce you? And I don't think we need to introduce our own members. I'd given last year my vocational talk, and I probably with all the stuff I've done in the many years I've been on this earth. But it's thinking about being back to the take-home lessons from the Rotary International Convention in Houston. Ever attended a Rotary International Convention? Oh, wow, we've got a good number here. Mine are there, but I know we have a number of you. Well, I'd been a Rotarian years. I'm weeks away from being president of our club, and I'm attending for the first International Convention in Houston. So this year's theme, you want to, this Discover New Horizons. And I really appreciated Steve Nyhus's day, really talking about how we use today to help us really of being able to go forward. And that is, I guess, what I felt about being at that. So the next slide, we had to sign up for the Space Center tour. A picture of Bill Wichter and Edgar Botello, Elaine Case, Allie, Andy, and Audrey Betcher. We weren't the only Rochester Rotarians there touring here in front of them 5. And if you want to talk about an out-of-the-world experience, that's just mind-boggling. So it's fitting that we get on to what happened the next day, which was each morning there were what seemed like all 12,000 plus convention attendees assemble in George Brown Convention Center, and then the magic begins to unfold. Speakers reminded us that Rotarians are people of action. Interspersed between speakers are compelling videos of Rotary projects, introductions of international and foundation time, treasure, and lives in service to Rotary, a wide variety of performances, as well as listening to a Nobel laureate and the Prime Minister of India. And of course, sitting all morning, you get well-timed get up and stretch to Blair, universally performed like YMCA. You know, how many of us don't know that? Maybe Miles hasn't gotten to learn it yet. Does he know it? Okay, yeah, there we go. So my husband leaned over to me after about the second hour of said, I've been to a lot of conventions in my life, and I have never level of energy in a room. So it was spine tingling. Feel that power of people of purpose, people of action, and of the Rotary Medal of Service leadership, grounded in person-to-person connections. And these inspiring speakers whose connections create a network that spans the globe. Linguistic, generational, and geographic barriers, and sharpens our commitment to the world. I signed up for the President-elect's breakfast, and Jennifer Jones, it was lunch, and Jennifer Jones was amazingly inspiring. And I did Steve's kind of quoting some of the things she said. I'm sorry our audio was a little, we keep trying to improve our hybrid communication, and we're making it where we want to be. In the afternoon, there were 3 breakout sessions, in particular, Success, Collective Impact Improves Education Gaps. And of course, those were the speakers clubs, our very own Audrey Betcher, Elaine Case, and Jerome Furson. They session to us, I believe in August or in September, early September. I think you're, anyway, I won't spoil the plot. The next one that just stayed with me was called Engaging Underserved. And it was billed as discover dynamic ideas and programs to create a more inclusive and engaged in historically underutilized businesses, building goodwill and better friendship. And this was presented by Carlo Capua from the city of Fort Worth, president of their club. The fact that he's the deputy chief of staff for the Fort Worth mayor and the city council, ability and connections to drive the Fort Worth Rotary Club's program, the goal line for all concerned. Next page. He acknowledged reality of where their club, which used to be the second largest club, and they had been at 735 members, and in 358 dropping down to 211 in 2020. And you see ends with this, and I think I could kind of identify with that. I could. So he put it into 4 categories. Our club, membership trends, the idea, how do we broaden our understanding of where this time? We've been going along and certainly COVID didn't help it. It was pretty clear that membership just was falling off. And they said, we have a lot of issues in our community. There's crime, there's kids that are dropping out of high school, and we got to get our act together. And with that, next decided to have a series of what they called courageous conversations in early 2021. And one was civilian oversight of law enforcement. Second discussion, building student leaders with empathy. It was part of their Rotary youth the schools and had some very significant conversation. They had talking about the religions that were seemingly creating a lot of tension. And they brought together imam, the Jewish, I'm thinking of, rabbi, and a Catholic priest. And the conversation was, it's amazing how much we have in common. That was one of the air, and you just had a sense that they were really starting to build engagement in the community, meaningful dialogue, and lessons learned. The fourth action was preserving our city's African American heritage. And the fifth was supporting our underserved businesses. And with that, their club, recognizing businesses, they wanted to give them awards and a cash. And they had 50 minority businesses apply the first year, and whom was a speaker there. And the second year, they had 80 businesses apply. So with that, they brought visibility. And looking at the snapshot here, total membership has grown from 211 in 2020 to 11 in June of 2022. And of that growth, 55 gone from 7 down to 5 in 2010, up to 50 2022. So know that if you look for, I need impact, I want to know what good, their growth was reflective of the fact that they were engaging in the community in a more meaningful way, bringing people in, giving them recognition. And the beautiful plaques, they brought in a videographer, another business leader that was in their club, and did so that the people who were winners could have a tool for promoting. And then the fellow who was the first winner went on to, my goodness, he was at a big Dallas Cowboys. No, not Dallas. What would be the Houston Oilers? What's the football field? Yeah. Anyway, he gets recognized by the man that's a big sponsor, and just tell his profile was taking off. And so you think about new leaders and people in business who that we were founded on the principle of your career or your was kind of your calling card to become a Rotarian. And as I look at the level of buy-in that they had about their 2022 Minority Business Awards, inspiring. So the next one, leave it to youth. With Rotary's future through youth programs. The spiel was during the during the pandemic, a group of Rotary Youth Program participants. So that would be Interact, Rotaract, any of the exchange type. They created Rotary Interactive Quarantine, the RIQ. It was an online by District 6840, which is in the Louisiana area. This was to share ideas, cultures, and experiences globally while working on projects throughout. It reached young leaders in 80 different countries and impacted over 5,000 young individuals. It has now officially launched as the Rotary Youth Network. Jennifer Jones has already identified areas that the network is going to take leadership, among them some of the media pieces for Rotary Internet. So the energy in the room, you get some sense of what this afternoon breakout session. And it's really inspiring that they have an innovative online platform to connect, empower, and support Rotary, promote peace, foster collaboration, and advocate for Rotary's action plan. I also, Melody Trimble, former Rotary Youth Exchange to Australia Club, leading the Rotary Youth Exchange. And we kind of wonder, okay, when do they, where, as they leave their education and they get in, this is now the place where they find each other. Apparently the communication, they have a TikTok account, they have a Facebook account, they have Instagram account, worked like probably our children do. I mean, but some of us yet. And of course, the Rotary House of Friendship was a buzz with merchants selling Rotary accomplished projects, recruiting new clubs and new Rotarians to participate. Services for Rotary, Rotaractor, Interactor, Impact Clubs. And I also visited the booth about Polio Now, the World Polio Day, which is October 24th. And I will be reaching out to a number of you in this effort. I know, Colin, you did some fundraising with which was, I think, pretty fun and raised the money that you'd hope to raise, I believe. It was inspiring to see the energy that was there. I, along with many, many others, was inspired by Jennifer Jones in 117 years. Next slide. When she announced her theme for this, she ends her presentation by saying it in 10 different languages. The logo represents key elements of Rotary while honoring the indigenous culture. The circle, back, yeah. Okay. Well, we've got to see the picture. All right, it's up there. Imagine connections to one another. The dots around the circle represent people. Focus. The circle and the dots together become a navigation star, which is guiding light. The solid line underneath signifies the digging stick used for hard. And the solid line represents that, and also a tool that Rotary's people of action use to get things done. And we understand that fulfilling that vision requires a plan. And Audrey focused her efforts this past year to produce our impressive new strategic plan, collective feedback in myriad ways. It's clear, it's concise, and it's a roadmap for our future growth. But I also, as you think about that, I look at the plan, and then we'll get back to our plan, because the next piece of this is looking at Rotary International globally, challenging us to imagine Rotary action plan through 2024. To increase our impact, we will be by measuring results, so we can scale up successful programs and tell compelling stories about our district and around the world. We will expand our reach by inviting new people into Rotary and to connect with people who share our commitment in serving and making our. We're committing to finding new ways to enhance participant engagement so that everyone out of their experience than they put in. And we will be open to increase our ability to so as president, my role action and tone for the year and bring alignment to the strategic plan, looking at what Rotary International has given about think, plan, action. It sounds simple, but it's a tall order, and we hope every one of us to serve. And I'd like to recognize in our audience and those who could not be with us, I'd like to express our gratitude to the Rotarian 22-23 board. I think that's the next page. So, and actually, after I recognize our leaders, I want to follow up with the first sort of public announcement about the action plan relating membership, mentorship, and probably some fun in there. So on that. So if you go to the next slide, Ashok Patel, Janine Gagnes. I don't know if Janine's with us online. Not. I apologize for the 2 C's in Mark Kochevar. My bad, and I couldn't send it to her. Proofread. Jennifer Teskey, Club Administrator Amber Beneke. The next slide. Jansen, who's here today. International Service, Steve Sperling, who was with us yesterday at the board meeting. Services, Mark Benscotter. I'm trying to think if Mark's online. He was on. C. Vandenhoevel presented to our board yesterday. You'll hear more about that soon. Engagement. Things running, and gosh, we've already got the check coming in the mail soon, I hope. Christine Erke told us she wouldn't be able to be here today. Communications, Melanie with her family vacationing somewhere. And measurement, Julie Brock, and we know she'll. And isn't it helpful when looked at the numbers from Texas, you know, Fort Worth, and they showing this is what we did about it, and look, it's working. So I'm excited for our club. So with that, I would like to welcome whatever order you're going to be doing it. And I think I left you enough minutes.
Well, thank you, President Ali and Tarians. It's my and Audrey's pleasure to share mentor-mentee pilot project that we're hoping to launch in September. Just that we want to have fun. I've recruited our 8-year-old mentor, give you an M&M. So next time you see an M&M or eat an M&M, and think about the mentor and mentee pairing project that we're doing. Go the extra mile for miles. All right. So, others have nicely framed. The reason we're doing this project is because it matters at the level of our community. It matters at the level of our future with our young professionals. So next slide. Well, while we're stuck on this slide, I just want to share that not only are our club, Mayo Clinic and with University of Minnesota and the undergraduate program is really catapulted a lot of change in our community. So we're going to hear a lot. What does it mean to mentor? What do mentees do? And then how can we build this to bridge together? All right. So have outlines a little bit of the pilot project. Well, first, we've recruited 10 mentees. So will those who are mentees in this room right now, raise. All right. So we have mentees and mentors. Curtis, Marco, Zoe as mentees, and then thank you for volunteering, Chris, Colby, and others will join the ranks soon. This slide just is the roadmap that what we're going to talk about, and this one just reminds me that our roots in mentoring actually go back. And before, so on the top right of this picture is my mom, who is celebrating my brother's award for Distinguished Educator down at Mayo, Arizona. She is full of joy. If you look back on all the people I look at all of you, you've all been challenged me, you've stretched me, and you've made me laugh. The reason this is the way we give back is because as Audrey's paved the way for my, and as Ali has framed so nicely, the purpose of life is to discover, the work of life is to develop that gift, and the meaning of life is when you give it with others. So next. You have access to this slide deck, which works better in your own hands at your own computer later. As President also reminded us, we are people of action. So as Walt Disney also engineering terms, the way to get started is to quit talking about it and get doing it. So the purpose of doing this together, though, is we want to heal together and being inclusive, which means going out into the community, finding those people who aren't reached and giving them a voice, giving them the way to welcome them into Rotary, to our culture of caring that we want to see in the future. Next. So we assembled this team over the last 6 months. Myself, Audrey is my mentor. I have improving skills at project management. Stacy Vandenhoevel is coordinate and align the DEI initiatives between the 3 clubs, the club for this project. And then I've recruited a couple of people to keep us. Diana Gonzalez, a medical student that's with us from Mexico City for the year, and then Zoe the podcast videography equivalent that we're going to try program, as well as all the other fun stuff that Zoe has in mind. And this launch without all of you, so know how much each of you contributed to the formulation of launch it in September. Next slide. So what are our project? So them are on the sheet there. I'll just highlight a couple that each of the $100 for lunch venues, which is $20 each if you get time. Otherwise, you run out of your extra 20. So that'll be for being disciplined, and then you'll learn about Rotary through your pairing service project and reflect on it, and you'll contribute to promote conversations about justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and belonging to Rotary. And so we call that the Jedi plus B, because Miles, what do Jedis do? Oh yes, but they are Star Wars, so at least you're from outer space, bring it to Earth and kind of. Next. So the this project, we have 19 to 39-year-olds who are active young professionals, or pair them up with a member from our club to start with. And like I said, this is our well, we can expand it to other members outside of our club and so on. Next. Task, and this is school. So that's what that page is. Next. Here are the current mentees that have been confirmed. And Vicky, I try will be, if she joins us, she can work and I'll be her e-men. And Christine's not here, but I've voluntold Cassie, her daughter, who's also a good mentee for us. And then next one. Mentors, so far, all of you are ad hoc mentors, but if you want to officially get a please sign up, and thank you. Tell me if you're interested. Colin. Oh, okay. So be people who feel young at heart, and they can be mentees. Oh yeah, we'll add Ali and we'll add Colin for this one. Next. So the timeline based formal announcement, and thank you so much for listening, and we will with the final pairings as Audrey and I sit behind the scenes to do the speed matchmaking, and then the pairs will be announced in September in the Moccasin Flower and with a kickoff. We will hope to have a midway checkpoint sometime in December, and then we'll wrap everything up about 9 months from now, which will be in April or May. And we will be able to come back and share the stories and launch that with in June of 2023. So Audrey, I'll stop there. And do you have?
Yeah, I want to thank people who've already volunteered, and then just make sure if you're interested in volunteering to be a mentor, that would be great. And so we'll get going on getting actual date set for the kickoff then in September.
Just a couple more. Because you don't all have or parenting experience before, the first, these are some suggested agendas as you sequence. These are 6 of them, so get to know each other, goals together, some terms and team agreements. Keep it fun, follow the 4-way test. These are things that you can work on together, and I'm sure you'll discover way more, right, Zoe, as we we can discover what the community really needs as we go forward. The most important at the end is a formal evaluation that we're going to try to get feedback on. And what I'd love all of you to do is to look of the program evaluation that we've put together and just email any suggestions on what would this look like at the end of May when you're filling it out. If there's things that we've missed that would make it more meaningful and impactful as a report or as we engage people for next year. And finally, I think I have a summary of what the budget and the resources are. We have $1,000 from our club. So thank you so much for supporting this pilot project. We have services for program coordinators, e-workbook that's in progress, and the evaluation. So thanks to Mayo for giving me the paper to print this out on, which that's where the paper came from. And then finally, if any, yes, it is the truth. Sometimes it's water washed and all that stuff. So for the approvals, we're going to try to keep it governed at the level of our club. I respect the 3 club input and the district input as we want to scale this over the next couple of years. So I think that's it. Next slide. Oh. So yeah, so I might add 3 mentoring concepts. One, Michael Fallon and Judy, I know you're on. So when I was making a smart aleck comment, Miles, in front of a bell ringer in 2005, these 2 people me as their mentee and brought me into Rotary. That's how I got started. I was making a comment, and that's what launched it. And since then, they've introduced me to all of you and to in having joy in the workplace and serving selflessly and put on billboards. The second is Edgar. I was teaching him, but before he took on owner, it was very clear to me that I didn't need to do much work. And we just had to pay a little bit for the flight, and the rest was his. With Edgar is to put together a video and a daily check-in, and then he's created a month or so. And likewise, I want to say mentors are, and they care about you, they will give back, and you don't have to make it it doesn't have to be a contract. It becomes part of a vocation. And then finally, Pet and Miles. So 8-year-olds can be mentors. When we and you see the joy and the commitment that you have to bring in your friends over to help out with cleaning up your school. Those are wonderful things. So.
Really an hour a month as the commitment, and just making sure you're checking in and really being personal. They can pick something community related, but we're really hoping support and open our networks so that we realize that after many of us have been in the workplace, we know a lot of people, and our networks mean a lot to young professionals. So thinking, I realize we both realize this is a pilot, and we're you'll join us in that journey. Yes, Vicky. Mentees do not have to be Rotarians. The mentees do not have to be Rotarians. We initially Rotarians in that age group to be part of it, but with the intent as we go forward, we will have non-Rotarians in the mix as well. Yep. Yeah, please come up. Yep.
Hello, everybody. So I'm actually really excited to this pilot program. As an active Rotarian, I feel like this will be exciting for me selfishly because I think it'll get people with a spark for Rotary, with emphasis on people of action. Excited to see people my age get more active, hopefully. So that'll be that I would evaluate on that sheet as a program wide. But anywho, regardless, I think it's a great effort we're making, and you already made that. After COVID, we're trying, and I think this is a very good try that we're doing. So very excited.
The mentees can be Rotarians, but don't have to be. Not a lot, but many have said yes to this mentee program. So, so we're piloting it. Hopefully, this first time with a combination of Rotarians and non-Rotarians, and of course, as we go, we'll have fewer because more have gone through the program. But you know, as we continue to build our membership, we'll have some of both. Is hopefully the. I think there's potential there for membership development as well. Yeah. But I think, but I look at this room and I see the incredible skills that I remember when I first came into this club, I was a lot younger, and you guys intimidated me like crazy. I was like, what am I doing in this room? And I think about how my career has been different because of Rotary, and I want that for more people. So.
I think this is exciting. We think about an action plan. This feels primed and ready for action. So we look forward to hearing the report and being engaged in building this and customizing it to our club and what we can offer the community. At some point, we're going to if you have ideas, remember we usually give a donation to an organization. And some years the board of directors makes the decision, and other years the ideas come from Rotarians saying, you know, this is a really good organization. Is this where we should be giving our honorarium to our speakers throughout the year? So if you have ideas, please bring them forth. As we close out today, I want to give thanks to who assisted. Vicki Allen, our greeter, Steve Nihus for his reflection, Colin Aldis for introducing our guests. John Woodruff was not able to stay this morning, but he's here and getting set up, and I have cash for you to take because we've had a couple of weeks where we haven't passed that off. I'd like to thank Vicki and the program committee for organizing the next months coming up. If you have ideas, I know that she's got a good committee, but we always will take additional ideas, speakers, to Amber Beneke for managing to keep us connected, even though there are glitches and so forth. A good moccasin flower this month, and we'll keep trying to keep the club runner updates current. And I thank you all for coming today, and imagine Rotary. We are adjourned.